Good morning, you're very welcome back. Now, our next guest is a former player, a psychotherapist, a pundit, a podcaster, and lots more. He's also a valuable voice in the campaign for mental health awareness.
Good morning, Richie Sadlier. How are you?
You well?
It's lovely to have you here. There's so much to talk about. We should probably talk about the Nations League first, and Carla Ward. She's in there. She's incredibly adept with the media. I think she's a brilliant speaker. How do you think she's getting on?
I suppose it's early still.
Yeah.
She obviously had to deal with, the squad had to deal with a few prominent players stepping away and retiring. That's one issue. She's been a little unfortunate in that she's kind of inherited a situation which wasn't of her own making. The whole kerfuffle around Colin Healy and the appointment and how that was handled.
So this is the backroom staff.
The backroom staff,
there was a lot going
but
on.
This week, look, went really well. Football is a results business. They got 2 wins, albeit against a team they would have been expected to win twice against. But yeah, early days, so hopefully things will continue to improve. Yeah.
Katie McCabe was missing earlier on as well. But listen, there's definitely positive voices coming out of there, which is good. Are there positive voices coming out of the men's game as well? What's your take on that situation?
I think there is. We had a lovely experience recently working on the second Bulgaria game and genuinely having loads of reasons to be complimentary and positive and optimistic.
That must be nice.
We haven't had that in a long, long time. Even if you're a supporter going to the matches or you're a pundit trying to make sense of it, the general tone of the last, go back to probably 2017, there's been no real high points. There's been no real reasons to get really excited. And then we won 2 games back-to-back, played reasonably well in both of them, deserved to win them. And there's some kind of a shape come together in the group. And you kind of think, well, maybe we are going in a better direction than previously. Because for a few years, we're kind of thinking, is the manager an issue? Is it the players an issue? Is it our expectations? Is it an issue? Are we just going through a spell where we just have to accept maybe we're not going to come near the standards of the past? So hopefully we've kind of turned a bit of a corner and the graph's on the way
It
up.
is interesting. Gavin Cooney from the 42.ie, who's here with us a lot.
Gav's great.
Gavin's great. Himself and Sinead were discussing this in their podcast, 42 FM, about the fact we don't have academy players going over anymore to the UK because of Brexit, but also because of so many European influxes there, that where we used to have 40 kids going over, now you've got like 6.
So I hate saying this phrase, in my day, but in my day, the 15, 16 and 17-year-olds, we were kind of picked off when we went to England, and England did the professional work which was needed to get you from what we were here to what you needed to be to stay over there. And because of Brexit, that job has now fallen completely on the Irish clubs. And I think we're still way off where we should be. I think, and I think this statistic is true, there are more full-time staff employed at the Millwall Academy I joined in 1996, which at the time were a 3rd division team, than there are in any of the elite academies today in Ireland. Right? So we need to start pumping a load of money into getting full-time staff, improved facilities, more contact hours for the players. And so any kind of change that the FAI announce or that anyone proposes that isn't a big investment, that doesn't really significantly change the landscape, it's just kind of tweaking things.
Interesting when there has been a money scandal inside the FAI, though. Anyway,
there's no. While I might sit here and say, money is the solution, finding that money is very complex.
Yeah, absolutely. But we've seen money going into other sports and it being used so well, and we're seeing the reaping the rewards from that as well. Listen, we have to talk to you as well, because not only are you a great voice on football, you're also a great voice on mental health and issues with mental health for all ranges of different people at the minute. Tradespeople is something, though, that doesn't come up too often you're here to talk about. And it's one thing, I'm up early in the morning, I'm driving down the motorway and I'm seeing van after van after van of fellas and women heading to work and trades. Like, it's tough, I'd say, a tough industry.
It is, yeah. So I've kind of partnered up with Chadwick's again this year. I did it last year too. They've a House Ahead campaign, which is really all about promoting this discussion among tradespeople. And they've surveyed a load of tradespeople, so they've statistics to kind of help us understand the attitudes and behaviours of the people who work in that industry. So I was really keen to get involved in this discussion because some of the stats really jumped out at me. 32% of tradespeople said if they suffer poor mental health, they will tell nobody. Nobody at all. And you just think, God, we can get that number down, surely. But 36% are taking active steps to improve their mental health, which is a really, really good thing. 44% said, we know our mental health can be improved. So my kind of role in this is I've been doing on Instagram all week, just to share kind of tips and suggestions, basic stuff, like stuff that we could all do on a daily basis. The stuff that I kind of have learned work for me. So it'd be lovely if I said to you, you know, get out of the van, take a couple of weeks off and sit in a tropical island for a fortnight. Yeah. That will help, but it's not practical. It's very few people, if anyone, can do it. So it's just about finding the things that you can do on a consistent, little and often basis, which make your mind a little bit of a healthier place to be, which kind of makes you be able to live your life in a healthier way as well.
Because it is lifestyle as well, as you're seeing lads in vans at 4 and 5 o'clock, they're not getting home.
Not getting home until late, so how to tell them to get out and go for a walk or go to the gym, you know, when they're going home to a family, it's very difficult.
Exactly, because loads of us in any industry can talk about the things that we feel we have to do and the responsibilities that we have and the stuff that if we don't do, you know, we're kind of in a little bit of trouble. But then you've also to find ways of ensuring that your well-being and your mental health and yourself is also included in that list of stuff that you have to tend to. And lads are crap at that. We are just terrible at that.
Because you were told in your playing days, when it came to mental health, to just shut up and not talk about it.
Well, I remember I don't know what language was used in rugby dressing rooms, but I remember, I think mental strength was the phrase used. We've got to have it, demonstrate it. And there was never a discussion of, well, what does that mean? How do you develop it? If you think you don't have it, how can you get it back? And I think my interpretation of it looking back was mental strength was just the term they used to say you've got to be someone who just delivers. If things get difficult out there, just come back with the 3 points. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what the crowd are saying or the opponent are doing or the conditions, whether 1 or 2-0 down or how long's left in the match. Come back with the 3 points and deliver. Which is a lovely message, but I think now we're realising a little bit more is required. So having conversations where you just put topics on the table and kick it around is far better than just leaning on silly little phrases and no one understands.
With tradespeople as well, though, I'd say there's great opportunities for conversations as well as slagging. But when you be sitting in the van or you're sitting having your lunch, whatever else, one-on-one, like there's great opportunities for people to just take that step to open up. And that's a case of, that's one of the big things, is just actually talking.
It is, and So after last year's campaign, I would have gotten a load of messages on social media from people in the tradespeople who had said that. I think I did a podcast with Donegal O'Callaghan, and they said it did kick off a conversation amongst them and the fella sitting next to them, or them and the person working next to them on a site. So it's kind of that simple. Sometimes it's just about saying, oh, this is what's going on for me, what's going on for you.
But it doesn't feel like anything's getting better. It feels like everything's getting a little bit worse, because obviously adolescence, when it comes to young boys, is the topic of conversation at the minute. And most, you know, we've heard people saying this is required viewing for absolutely everyone.
Have you both watched it?
And and it's scary. It's scary to watch. And you wrote a book specifically for young boys before.
What did you mean by them? Because I know you talk about advocating young boys. Someone who's advocating for them. What do you mean by that?
So I think a lot of for really understandable and much needed reasons, there's lots of focus recently on poor male behaviour or the need for people to step in and be supportive towards women and promote equality and to really call out poor behaviour and be a voice for lots of positive change. But sometimes when I'm in a room with a load of teenage lads, the sense I get is that they're fully aware of the need to support girls and to be there for girls and to be sound towards girls, but they're like, where's the campaigns for us? Who's kind of telling us, like, who's supporting us, who's speaking up for us? And I think one of the...
But is that just... It just feels, and I understand that, it's because it feels like, as a girl who was in school, who got things said to you for no reason, for just simply, you know, having different body parts, it was tough. And to always feel under the cosh. And I completely understand what you're saying. I don't want anyone to feel excluded. But why is it us versus them? Like, it does feel like there is this us versus them in the world at all ages, when we're like, we're all in this together, lads. We need each other.
Exactly. Like, So the book I wrote, Let's Talk, a few years ago, was kind of all about that. It was about relationships and about communication and about intimacy and about the need that it's not just your needs, it's or your voice. It's about you and your partner. It's a collective thing. It's a communal thing. It's a together thing. But I think the general thing, you could talk about adolescence from a load of different angles. I loved the programme. It was great. But what I like is that it's got a lot of people who weren't in the conversation before now really keen to have the conversation about what more can we do to support or guide or protect or parent boys?
Yeah.
The lads that move from childhood into their early steps into adolescence. So they're in first year, they're sixth class, or their second year. And that's a turbulent time for a young lad. Like a girl, they'll be confused, they'll be a little bit overawed, they'll be overwhelmed. What behaviour is expected of me?
We've forgotten them.
What childhood stuff do I have to leave behind? And they're looking around going, who's going to show me?
Absolutely. And leaving them on their phone for a long time on their own is not the right way.
Massive pitfalls.
Listen, Richie, it's great to have you with us, as always. We could talk to you for bloody donkeys on so many things, but as ever, great work.
And congratulations, Fiona's having another baby, by the way. We know you've got 2-year-old Sam. It's so amazing.
Yes.
And Fiona is another baby due soon.
Yes, 6 weeks.
She's doing great.
Can't wait.
Brilliant.
Can't wait.
Best of luck with that.
Thanks a million for chatting with us.